Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all of the books that I got for my birthday, which was earlier this month in July, as well as quite a few of the books that I've just picked up over the past couple of months since I did my last book haul, or probably like March, April time. So I've got a good few here that I bought myself over the past few months, as well as a good few that I have been gifted. So I'll start with the birthday and then we can go through all the ones that I have been gifting to myself over the course of this year. And I thought I hadn't really been buying books, but actually these piles are quite, there's a good few piles here. There's a good few here. Need to get reading. Right, I will start with my sister. So my sister gifted me 2 books for my birthday. So thank you very much, Tassie, for these. So she gifted me Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, the first secret project. I have not read this one yet. I was waiting for this publication to come out as a Gollancz traditionally published edition, because I didn't go in for the Kickstarter because the price for it to the UK was just way too much. Like, it looked expensive, and then you put shipping on and it like doubled the expensive price, and I was like, I don't think I can do that. So I just decided to go for these versions that Gollancz are publishing. I am a bit disappointed that they didn't go with the colour emerald for this cover. Like, it would not have taken much for them to have this as emerald. It really would not have done. But why go for lime green when you could have gone for emerald? But yes, I do still have this to read. Really looking forward to it, and thank you to my sister for buying this for me. Looking forward to diving into this one. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I'm really excited for this one. She also gifted me Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang, or R.F. Kuang, or wait, I feel as though I've got so used to saying R.F. Kuang that to see Rebecca on here just throws me a little bit, even though that's obviously her name. So this is her latest publication. I have not read this one yet. Unlike her other books, this one is not a fantasy, it is contemporary, following a main character, June, who steals the unpublished manuscript off of her friend, who is a literary darling, and publishing it as her own, and the consequences of that. And I am looking forward to getting into this one as well. 2 great hits there. She did well. She did have my wish list. I did give her that, but she chose well. She said she saw the display in Oxford, because that's where she lives, of Yellowface, and she was like, oh, Abby has that on her wish list. Oh, this is all over the window. I'll go for that one, was her logic there, and the bright yellow cover. And then my dad was like, but Abby, it's not a fantasy. Are you sure you're going to read this? And I was like, yes, Dad, I'm quite sure. And he was like, but it's not your normal genre, and it's yellow. And I was like, yes, Dad, I know. Then my friend Joanna gifted me 2 books for my birthday. She gifted me Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, the latest in her romance publications. This one I've read. I did it. I got a book this month and I read it this month. Who'd have thought? Read and enjoyed. Very fun. Listened to the audiobook. Blasted through it. Very just easy, compelling to read. And I've been reading lots of long books lately, and I needed something fun and quick and engaging. This one sticks pretty much with the same formula that Ali Hazelwood has done with her previous publications, which is a romance but with a science STEM based background, following a character that's probably struggling due to the bureaucracy of finding a job within the science sphere as a female, and the love interest that she meets along the way. I enjoyed this one. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then Joanna also gifted me Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith, the 3rd book in the Lore Olympus graphic novel series. This one I have not quite read yet, but I do intend to read it quite shortly, because I feel like I'll be able to read this very quickly, and I'll feel very accomplished when I do. But Lore Olympus is a graphic novel retelling of Hades and Persephone, but with also like modern influences in it as well. So really looking forward to getting into this, and thank you so much, Joanna, for both of these. Also, for anybody that has a channel, I will link their channel down below, and I would really recommend checking them out and checking out their videos and their content. My sister definitely does not have a YouTube channel. My friend Sophia gifted me The Poison Song by Jen Williams, the 3rd and final book in the Ninth Reign trilogy. I believe she marathoned this whole trilogy this year, really enjoyed it, and I am approaching. I'm getting there. I'm closing in on the end. I'm closing in on this because I have now read the 1st and the 2nd book. The 2nd book I read in June, so now I just need to finish it, and Sophia has given me the opportunity to be able to do this by gifting me the 3rd and final book, so I have no excuse now. There is no reason why I can't read this, because I own it. It is in the house. So thank you so much, Sophia, for gifting this one to me. And then my friend Sam gifted me the Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, which is a Carissa Broadbent book set in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. So I binged and really thoroughly loved and enjoyed the first 3 books in that series. In June, I fell down a Carissa Broadbent rabbit hole, just was obsessed. And this is a standalone in that world, so really looking forward to getting into this and reading this one, and not being back in that world with those characters because it's different characters, but been back with Carissa Broadbent's writing because I was so hooked, so hooked. So thank you so much, Sam, for this. And then my friend Brittany, who is a friend from London, she got me Blood Sanctuary Part 2. So Part 1 might be in one of the books that I bought myself, but this is the next one for me to read, continuing in this fantasy romance series, which if you haven't noticed, it has been a little bit of a theme this year that I've been reading quite a few fantasy romance series. I've been really in that kick right now. Continue on with this, and thank you so much, Brittany, for this one. So those are all the books that I was gifted for my birthday earlier this month. So really looking forward to diving into all of these, and thank you again to all of my friends and my sister for gifting those to me. Right, we will now get into the books that I have bought myself over the past few months, and dive into these ones. Some of them I guess won't come as a surprise because I've mentioned sequels to them in the birthday book haul. So I did gift myself over the past few months Blood Solace, the second book in the Blood Grace series, as well as Blood Sanctuary Part 1. So this one I've read, this one I have started but not finished yet. So this series, I have just mentioned it, it's quite an extensive fantasy romance series following our main characters Leo and Cassia. Leo is a vampiric-like creature. Cassia is a human. There's lots of politics in this world, lots of back and forth with Cassia's father, who is not the nicest, and sort of trade deals going between these two peoples. So looking forward to continuing on with this series and seeing where it goes next. One that I have read is Happy Place by Emily Henry. Read this pretty much as it came out. I saw the sprayed edges. I just was sucked in. I just had to go for it. I had to have it because of this ombre. I love an ombre. I just love that. I would have waited for the paperback, I think. Maybe. But I then saw the edges and it just had to come home with me. It really did. It just had to. It had to. Another one that I have read, this is the latest in Emily Henry's romances, following our main characters Harriet and Wyn. We follow them in 2 timelines, first when they meet and the start of their relationship, as well as in the present day as they're going on holiday with their friends and pretending that they are still together because they haven't been able to tell their friends that they actually broke up. And will they or won't they get back together? As I mentioned before, I did go on a bit of a Carissa Broadbent kick. And just went on a bit of a binge because I got sucked in by the hype. I just had to. I had to. So I started off by buying The Serpent and the Wings of Night, the first books in the Crown of Nyaxia series. By about the midway point, maybe even earlier than that, I was like, I need the next books. I need them right away. I am going to want to binge this all the way through. So that's what I did. I bought this, I read it pretty much straight away. I then went out and I also bought the novella, Six Court Roses, and the second book, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and I read that as well. Yeah, I bought them and I read them straight away. It was so bingeable, it was so fun. So fun. This is a fantasy romance series following our main characters Araya and Rain. As in this world filled with vampires, Araya is a human, and but she has been raised in the vampire world, always feeling as though she is weaker than the rest of them. She then enters into these trials to obtain a boon from the vampire goddess. In these trials, she meets Rain, and we follow their romance as well as the trials as they go on, knowing that it is survive or die type thing, and that their relationship is not going to last. And then the second book was just a lot more, I'd say, like political, where obviously the trials ended in this book, but there's a lot more going on now. There's a lot more political consequences to the events at the end of this one, and I just have got a helicopter circling overhead. So I have hauled and read and thoroughly enjoyed these. A gift from me to me. The hype also got to me with Fourth Wing, which again I bought and read pretty much straight away. So the first book in the Fourth Wing series, which follows Violet as she enters into a dragon training school, and people that she meets there, one is an old friend and one is the son of her family's enemy. It is sort of their enemies to lovers romance in this fantasy world with dragons. Dragons were the highlight of this. The dragons I really enjoyed. Another one that I bought and read instantly. And then a couple of books that I have not read yet. So both of these I got at Goldsborough. So I went to Fantasy in the Court, which was an event hosted by Goldsborough where there were quite a few authors there. These were a couple of books that I picked up when I was there because it was like £5 for your ticket, but then you got £5 off of a book. So your ticket was pretty much free. And then my friend wasn't buying a book, so I got her £5 as well. So I got one for my enemy very, very cheaply. And Goldsborough is generally pretty expensive as a bookshop. Like they don't discount their books. Their books are full price. I picked up one for my enemy by Olivia Blake. I've read quite a few Olivia Blakes now. Well, no, that's a lie. I've read The Atlas 6 and Alone with You in the Ether. And I do intend to read the second book in the Atlas series probably towards the end of the year. And one for my enemy whenever I feel like it, because this is a standalone. I think this is witch families that are in conflict and potentially sort of Romeo and Juliet style events that happen. I'm not generally, Romeo and Juliet doesn't do much for me. Like, it's not a buzzword, it's an anti-buzzword for me. But I am intrigued, especially with the sort of witchy atmosphere. I think it's witches. Is it witches in New York? Or have I made up that setting? No, I think it is witches in New York. It has lovely end pages here, so very, very pretty end pages, and yeah, excited to dive into this one, but I just haven't yet. And then the other book that I got there, I was handed. I think it was towards the end of the event, and I was handed A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid, which is her newest publication. I think it is a sort of dark academia fairy tale-esque, and I'm very, very interested in reading this one. I do need to get to it because this is an advanced copy and it comes out in September. So I would really like to be able to read this and review it ahead of its release. Maybe read a couple of dark academia books, but that might be a little bit ambitious. But very, interested to dive into this one and see how I feel about it. I have read The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. I haven't read her other one, but I can't remember the name of it. But I did enjoy The Wolf and the Woodsman, and I enjoyed her writing style. So it would be interesting to see how she has grown as an author and read this one. And there we go. There are all of the books that I have picked up myself in the past few months, as well as the books that I was gifted for my birthday. I feel as though I've done actually quite well at reading them, at least the ones that I've bought over the past few months. Obviously, I haven't done so well at reading the birthday books yet, but that's because my birthday wasn't that long ago. So it would have been a pretty quick turnaround if I had gone and read all of them right away, because that would have been very, very speedy. So I think I've done quite well at keeping up to date with reading the books that I'm bringing into my house and not bringing books in and then them sitting on my shelves for ages, because that is something I am really trying to avoid. So let me know if you have picked up any of these books, and which one you are most excited for me to read. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!